Welcome to the show, folks. Today we're diving into some dark territory, a countdown of the 5 most dangerous men in the world. We're talking about individuals who've instilled fear across the globe, men whose names alone conjure images of violence, power, and chaos. These individuals have left a mark on history with their notorious actions. From drug lords who built empires on cocaine to terrorists who brought the world to a standstill, these men have woven themselves into the fabric of our collective nightmares. Get ready, because we're about to explore the lives and actions of these individuals, delving into the psychology and circumstances that drove them to commit acts of unimaginable evil. First up, we've got Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. This dude was like the Houdini of drug lords, man. He ran the Sinaloa cartel, one of the biggest, most ruthless drug trafficking organizations in history. We're talking tons, literally tons of cocaine, heroin, you name it, flowing into the US under his watch. And the craziest part, this guy escaped from prison twice. The first time he bribed his way out, supposedly hiding in a laundry cart. I mean, can you imagine? The balls on this guy. The second time, he escaped through a mile-long tunnel dug right into his prison cell. A freaking tunnel! It had lights, ventilation, even a motorcycle rigged to run on rails. Talk about commitment. They finally caught him again in 2016, extradited him to the US, and now he's serving a life sentence. But El Chapo's story, man, it's a testament to how powerful these cartels are, how much money and influence they have. It's terrifying, man. Next, we're talking about the man who needs no introduction, Osama bin Laden. The mastermind behind the 9/11 attacks, an event seared into the memory of every single American. This guy, he understood the power of fear, of striking at the heart of a nation. And he used it to devastating effect. The Twin Towers falling, the Pentagon in flames, the world watched in horror as thousands of innocent lives were lost. Bin Laden became the face of terror, the most wanted man on the planet. He disappeared into the mountains of Afghanistan, constantly moving, always one step ahead. For almost a decade, he evaded capture, taunting the US with audio messages, fueling the fire of his twisted ideology. He was finally found and killed in 2011 during a US Navy SEAL raid on his compound in Pakistan. The world breathed a sigh of relief, but the scars of his actions, man, they run deep. Let's talk about Pablo Escobar, the Colombian drug lord who ruled the cocaine trade in the 80s. This dude was responsible for something like 80% of the cocaine smuggled into the United States. We're talking billions with a B in revenue. He was ruthless, man. He waged war on his enemies, on the Colombian government, even on his own people. He bombed buildings, assassinated politicians, and left a trail of bodies in his wake. But he was also seen by many as a modern-day Robin Hood. He built schools, hospitals, even entire neighborhoods for the poor in Medellin. He cultivated this image of a man of the people, a benefactor, all while running a drug empire built on blood and violence. In the end, he was gunned down by Colombian National Police in 1993. But his legacy, man, it's still debated today. Was he a monster or a folk hero? The truth, like always, is probably somewhere in between. This one's a real head trip, man. Charles Manson. He wasn't a dictator, a terrorist, or a drug lord. He was a cult leader who never actually killed anyone himself, but he was the mastermind behind a series of gruesome murders that shocked the world. This dude had a way with words, man. He was charismatic, manipulative, and he used that power to build a following of lost souls, mostly young women, who were completely under his control. In 1969, he ordered his followers, his so-called family, to commit a series of murders, including the horrific killings of actress Sharon Tate and her friends. These weren't just random acts of violence, they were ritualistic, orchestrated to incite chaos and spark a race war, according to Manson's twisted vision. He was sentenced to death, later commuted to life in prison, and died behind bars in 2017. But even after all these years, man, the name Charles Manson still sends shivers down your spine. Finally, we come to the man who needs no introduction, the embodiment of evil itself, Adolf Hitler. This dude, man, he rose to power in a broken Germany, promising economic recovery and national pride. But his true ambitions were far more sinister. He preached hate, blaming the Jews and other minorities for Germany's problems. He built a totalitarian regime, silencing any opposition, and embarked on a campaign of conquest and genocide that plunged the world into darkness. The Holocaust, the systematic extermination of 6 million Jews, stands as a chilling reminder of the horrors that can occur when hatred and intolerance are allowed to fester. Millions upon millions dead, entire cities reduced to rubble, the world forever scarred by his actions. Hitler's reign of terror finally ended in 1945 when he committed suicide in his bunker as Allied forces closed in on Berlin. The world celebrated the downfall of the Nazi regime, but the shadow of Hitler's atrocities continues to loom large over humanity. So there you have it, folks. 5 of the most dangerous men who ever walked the earth. These men have shaped history in the most terrifying ways. Their actions a stark reminder of the capacity for evil that exists within humanity. But it's important to remember, man, that we can learn from these dark chapters. We can study these individuals, try to understand what drove them, and work to prevent such horrors from happening again. Stay tuned for more deep dives into the world's most infamous figures. We'll be exploring the lives of dictators, serial killers, and other individuals who've left their mark on history for better or for worse. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out.